today, Thursday. You know, somebody called them and.
It's supposed to be fixed, the AT&T towers are supposed to be fixed today, cause we went to Gilman, I had 5G and I was full bars.
Yeah, it shows alive.
As soon as you got the hurdle.
Oh.
I think it depends on where you're at.
But now-
Like, we went out as soon as.
Yeah,
Yep.
I streamed stuff all the way from Gilman all the way to Hurdle. As soon as I crossed through Hurdle on this side of Hurdle, nothing.
Okay, I do believe we are live, so remember the microphone is very sensitive. I hope we're live.
I got you.
Thanks. What? Not yet. Ellie's. I didn't keep her this. She's going to.
Access we're live, thank you very much.
That's just your copy. What you're bringing up. No. What are your teachers?
Thanks for checking, appreciate it.
It was remind you that we requested or something.
That would be on seven. What is it? His peers, I didn't know right away.
Okay.
Yep, I said
All right. Okay. At this time, I'll call the committee of the whole meeting to order for Monday, October 20th, 2025. This time I'm looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
Make the motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Katie, seconded by Polly. I'd like to make an amendment that we switch 3 and 4 around. So that way the staff that's here can get back to stuff they need to do before we go into the budget stuff. So you'd be putting the treasurer's report section after the new business section.
Well, accept that as my motion with that amendment.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, agenda is approved with the treasurer's report following the new business. So next on would be number 2. Christina, volleyball.
I am just looking for approval again this year to take the varsity volleyball team to state. We would leave Wednesday, November 5th after school, and then we would return Saturday, the 8th. I'd say about 5, 6 o'clock, kind of depends. We have an Airbnb that is right across the street from where the games are going to be played, so we're very close. Not a lot of hesitation or anything like that. And then we would be taking one school van and then a personal vehicle, so it'll be a total of 14 players and 2 coaches. No, 12 players, 2 coaches. Sorry. And then we plan to pay for this with the fundraising that we did. We did do a Scentsy fundraiser, and then we also raffled off a pink cooler. Those 2 combined, we raised $3,040, so plenty of money to cover. And all that the girls have to provide for money is just shopping and food.
Sounds good. Congratulations on all you guys have fundraised and
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a good year.
You got a home game tomorrow.
We do. We finally get to host a playoff game.
Good luck.
Thank you.
So do we need to make a motion?
what to
Oh,
at
the
the
next night,
yeah,
or next,
monthly
The
meeting.
regular meeting.
But yeah, anyone have any questions?
Where's it at?
It'll be in Green Bay at the rec center.
Is it always at the same place?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know sports, so
Thank
thank you for telling me that.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you very much. We
Thank you.
appreciate it.
thanks, Christina. Good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you.
All right, so moving on to 4A. Basketball coach update.
Based on the way our current policy is written, there is a minimum that needs to be. A minimum number of players that need to be out for a team to have an assistant coach. High school girls basketball will not meet that minimum requirement. So I want to know what you wanna do with that position. We have posted JV boys in-house. Our numbers right now look 16 to 18 boys and 8 girls. So the minimum number is 12. It's nowhere, so 8 is not close to 12. I don't think there's 4 girls wandering the halls that are going to join. I've been in discussion with Coach Ustagoff and Coach Emery on what to do, but I'm looking for direction. Do you want me to proceed based on the way policy is written and go with one coach or other directions?
I thought we changed that policy to liability and we
No, that
wanted
was
2
just,
coaches.
that was just cross country.
But you did vote to have 2 coaches if you were gonna go to 1 varsity coach for both boys and girls.
Right.
You did vote to do that in later meetings.
Right.
And Kristen is coach for both, so I do
Yes.
still think we need an assistant coach for both. And I still think it's a liability.
Yeah, you can't just have one with them.
Well, I mean, if it was a home game, it wouldn't necessarily be an issue because there's enough staff around, but the away games, we definitely need to make sure. I mean, if they can come up with a schedule to guarantee that.
23 doubleheaders in one single game.
But some of those doubleheaders are other school if there is JV games.
Correct.
Just a matter of if we have numbers for JV. Or if the other team has the JV that night.
So there's 8 total girls.
8 total girls playing it. 7, 100% for sure, and 8th is 75% sure, based on conversation.
So we would probably only have varsity games?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what, last year, we only had varsity boys, and we only played 2 JV girls games last year.
Okay.
But we had the numbers, we just didn't have the number of eligible athletes.
Sure.
We met the minimum requirement from last year. We just never had enough eligible
Right.
athletes to have.
So you didn't have to
And then-
separate the coaching?
Some of the other schools last year did not have JV, so I think there was sometimes
Right.
we would have been able to have a JV game, but say luck, or you know, another
Like
school was
only got
kind of
8
both.
this year,
So is,
Frederick's not. So there are multiple schools we play that are not going to have JVs as well.
Do we know what we're doing with the boys for coaches?
Tristan is going to do head boys and head girls.
that was he accepted. We
That
never
is-
found out if
That's
they
been
accepted. it.
approved and accepted.
Okay,
I have posted boys in-house
Chad turned it down.
and
okay,
Chad
Oh,
turned it down. I posted boys in-house. We have no applicants. Unless you chose to go, Delane would go from JV girls to JV boys, then we would not have to search any farther.
so they both be coaching both.
Well, not
So,
realistically.
yeah, Tristan, it'd just be Tristan with girls and then Delane. with
Tristan and
Tristan.
Delane for boys.
Right,
If, based on the way the current policy is written, that's,
Yeah,
unless you tell me different,
So-
that's.
is the option, we don't have the numbers, but we still could hire the assistant coach and those girls will play just whenever there is possibility
There
of
will
the
be
team.
no JV, we will not have
Or-
enough, you would hire a coach to never coach a game.
To never coach a game, but to have them for practice, or what would the point be? There's no point in having the coach, is that?
The point, oh wait,
It's
there
a
was-
Why would be for
liability.
liability coverage of a male coaching 8 females to have another set of eyes in the room
Okay.
for for that and for Trav. But he will not coach a second of JV girls, we will not have a team.
So those
Call
8
it
girls are
something else.
varsity?
What?
Are those 8 girls varsity?
Yeah, they have to be.
Oh, okay,
Automatic.
so that 8, I thought we had varsity and
No,
another
no,
8
no, no,
girls.
those are the
The
8 total, so those 8
Total
girls will be our varsity team.
I see, okay.
if we called it an assistant but not a coach, do you think we'd get people that would apply? Knowing that it's more supervisory? Or no?
I don't think we wanna go there because if you're hiring them to coach, they'll sit on the bench to have a say in how it's going, you know, talk to Tristan on strategy,
Okay.
on technique and everything else.
Do they have to go through any process of getting any coaching certificate? I only know hockey coaching.
They have to
require
have, they have to be CPR certified and that is it.
Um,
So I'm just looking for direction, what you want me to do. If you wanna have 2, then I have to ask Delane what he wants to do and if he chooses to be the girls, just guy that sits in, then I'm gonna have to post boys out of house tomorrow.
Was there anybody in-house or Delane was the in-house?
Delane was the in-house. If you chose to eliminate the girls JV position based on the way the current policy is written.
Is there the possibility of a parent that might want to volunteer to sit in for some of, like, ride the bus or do some of these?
That, I have never brought it out to anybody.
I don't know who the parents are. I
I'm
mean,
looking at
if you're
Dan as I know he's got.
Thinking of the parents that are there, I mean, would that be an ask that would be outside of the realm of what those parents may?
If
willing
if
to-
all you're doing is looking for somebody liability wise, that would be the cheapest and most cost effective way to attack this.
Yeah,
Did you travel to most games, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, we go to most games.
I mean, he's a school official.
We do right.
But he's also a farmer though, so.
Boys and girls ride the same bus. Boys and girls ride the same bus.
They will.
Supervision on, yeah, they will because they're
Yeah,
paid that
yeah,
But I
policy
mean, yeah,
change.
we have it.
so what
There'd be
are the
details.
other times that we need to try to make sure that we've got multiple adults there? Or
It'd be
Like
Practice.
girls practice,
girls practice,
if Delane goes to boys, he wouldn't have to be there for the girls practice, so then Tristan is by himself
Self.
in
So
girls
liability.
practice.
yes.
And the board would be
Okay, so-
okay with not having an assistant practice, right?
Well, that was the reason.
but
that
that's
we
the
talked about
liability of putting
having
Tristan alone
A
with.
second
a
person
person.
in that practice.
But we're here. I mean, I think we can get somebody for the away games to maybe help supervise and sit behind the bench. But if practice, if we needed somebody.
Yeah, I mean,
that's-
if we think about it in other realms of the school, we have male teachers with groups of females and female teachers with groups of males in larger settings than 8 at a basketball game or a practice, so it wouldn't be outside the realm of what we're already doing.
I could consider it, but I'd have to talk to people.
So what if, like, just if I were coaching and Olivia was playing and I went to a away game, I would sit behind the bench as the school official supervisor. I'd be willing to do that. I don't know if that's something you would consider as a parent, like.
Or is there I mean, if something were to happen and the coach had to leave with them for a medical emergency, that's our big worry, right? And now we've got a group of unattended kids there, do we just pull on an adult at that time who's there or is this someone that has to be pre-decided and they've already had the background check and those kinds of pieces? Cause they're gonna now need to ride the bus home with the kid,
And how many
right?
parents are in the stand that have a background check?
Right.
How many parents are in the stand that are potentially by themselves with other kids? How many parents are in the stand who drove themselves, so now you have
Their
a
vehicle.
that
Yeah.
you have a
Yeah.
vehicle that needs to get back and you're down at Clear Lake.
So we want.
I mean,
to
there's a lot
assure
of like,
something-
there's
I feel like
potential that
that's
we'd
what
have
it's very-
somebody.
Yeah, we
But
need a
there's-
designated person, I.
There's a lot of just what ifs, and that's part of the reason we're here trying to debate those.
Well, I think you have to decide if you want it posted that we're gonna hire a second coach, even if we don't have the numbers. And then there's still the question of whether or not we get someone that
Mhm.
wants to actually do it, because as of now, we don't have applicants, so we have to be prepared for how we would handle it if we don't get any applicants, because even if we want to,
Yeah.
doesn't mean we will get anyone.
Well, for the continuity of the program, I feel like hiring a coach would be a good idea to just have that person there for hopefully future.
The only other thing that's bounced around in my brain is if you decided to hire an employee as a stipend. And just to have them, that say someone that has a background, and if you're looking to save money at half the cost.
Mhm.
Here's the practice schedules, this is when I need you here. Almost like a paid manager, adult,
think
The
we
per
have
game
anybody
thing,
that-
like we do for the other things, like the crowd control person.
That's
yeah,
what they
that's
say.
what I'm getting at,
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting
So
at.
they'd be here
You
more
could play,
often.
you could pay them on a per hour basis like you pay crowd control.
that's, yeah.
But I don't know, then again, I don't know if we have anybody. That's why I brought it up tonight. I need direction,
Well, I
cause
don't
we're
wanna
3
be-
weeks out.
Yeah, I don't wanna base it on, we don't think someone would apply. I'd rather,
What if
this is
one
what
of
we
you
want.
had applied?
I know, but
But with that position, like he said, what if I'll take the, it's like weight room supervision in the summer, I'll take the, but then you're not giving Tristan what he needs, but if we don't have a valuable applicant for boys,
Mhm.
you're hiring just somebody that, I don't know.
I think we need to post for it and see what we get, because we may have to circle back around and not have any applicants, and then we have to make a hard decision. In 2 weeks or whatever, what are we doing? We only have 2 coaches when we want 3. I mean, post it and hopefully somebody
Well, and
steps in.
post the position, ask who's the JV. the other
Ask
coach.
Delaney what he
Ask
wants to
Delaney
do.
what he would rather do, boys or girls, and then we know where we would need to fill the hole. With a volunteer to just be their
Talk to-
liability.
You're telling me, talk to Delane, figure out if we have two, where does he wanna go?
Yep,
If he says girls post boys,
yep,
listed for 2 weeks. And figure go from there.
and think of other parents maybe, or other adults that would likely be at the games.
Oh, yeah, I mean, there may be somebody, it's just until we put that out, that feeler out there.
Alright, I will talk to Delane, I will post in the morning, I will post, I'll talk to Lisa, we'll put it, cause it's been posted now, so it's gonna go out of house tomorrow.
And
No, it won't go in the paper, but it can go on weekend, it can go on Facebook, most, nobody sees the paper.
could Tristan send an email out to those 8 parents to see if any parent would be willing to be that person at the games
Or if they rotate.
and just start that?
Well, now we're on 2 different.
Yeah,
No, if nobody applies.
if no one applies.
Okay, so
Or
I'll
be,
go,
or be ready to send that email out by a day, like, so he knows, if someone doesn't apply, this email is gonna go out. So that we're not cutting it too close to the season starting.
and boys starts a week after girls, so.
Okay,
Boys starts the 10th, no, girls starts the 10th, and boys starts the 17th.
It's a lady I'm playing.
Does that help at all?
Yeah, I'll talk to Delane and post out of house and we'll go from there. That's the direction I needed. Otherwise, just based on the way policy was, Delane was gonna take boys, we're going with 1 girl, those 2 boys, and yeah, that's where the policy written. If you interpret it the way the policy's written.
yeah, so
That's
if we
what-
changed it for cross-country, are you saying all the rest of the sports could have 1 coach at them based on numbers? Is that do we need to go back and revisit
The
that?
only sport that isn't right now is football. Football's minimum of 2.
Minimum of 2, so all the other sports could have 1 coach.
Correct. That's the way the policy is currently written. Football due to liability and just line and offense.
Yeah.
Minimum number for football is 2.
So that's something we could look
And
at.
every other sport is 1. There is a
Except for
several.
cross country. They
changed
changed
it
cross country
to
last spring, so that they have to have 2 coaches.
Between middle school and high school.
But they have
Yeah.
to have 2 coaches.
Coaches there.
On all times.
Yeah,
So we could look-
that's the way, well, that's the way it's gonna be for all sports, cause you're gonna need at least 1 middle school coach, 1 high school coach for every sport. So I don't think they changed the.
But cross-country, they're at this, meet at the same time, where the other sports aren't. So we could revisit the policy for those sports that would have 1 coach for the high school, and now that 1 person is traveling with the team.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
So, all right, I will talk to Delane and I will be in touch with Lisa tomorrow, post that. I'll give you an update as soon as I hear something.
Thank
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan, appreciate it. Building update, Dan.
So I think pretty much all our summer projects are done. They did come in last week. I think I passed the concrete out there. As far as the boilers go, I called. They said they'd get back to me. I haven't heard back. I emailed, haven't heard back. Last I heard was like in July, it was middle to the end of October. So I started the 1 boiler a couple weeks ago, and most of the time I'm just running it during the day. Especially if it's cold in the morning, I'll just run during the day and then shut it off. It's been working fine so far.
So do we not have a date for them to start putting the new ones in? Cause you haven't been in touch, like they haven't got back to you.
They haven't got back to me, so I'm hoping sooner than later here.
Is that the same thing that was happening last year? Is you'd start it and then,
No, it basically would shut off on its own.
okay.
We're not letting it run that long. So it shuts off on its.
Well, it has been running during the day, but it's never actually shut off. It went into fail. Most of the time it was a flame failure is what it was doing a lot last year. And I'm just running the one that was pretty consistent last year, so boiler number 2, so. And it'll heat the building up and it keeps it warm enough. Last week I didn't even start it a couple days because it was getting too warm.
Well, hopefully we hear back from them soon.
Was when they start the project, they were gonna leave 1 in anyway. And then take 1 out. And made sure they had everything and then put 1 in, and then when it was time, take the other one out, finish it.
We only have 1 working right now.
They both work.
Oh, we're
I'm
only
just,
using one,
I'm
right?
just running. one.
Good, cause I'm like, if that dies, we're like screwed.
No, they both
Okay.
work. It's just, I'm just running one, so. And I just usually run it from 7 to 3:30. I also I got an email about our fire system. Apparently, they said that we're gonna have to update it because of the age of our system. And that it's out of date and it's gonna be hard to get parts for it. And I'm supposed to be having a meeting with them. They're supposed to contact me about meetings, talking about the subject.
Fire alarm system or sprinkler?
We don't have sprinklers.
I did think we had, I
It's
didn't
just
know
the
some of
fire,
the
it's
buildings,
just the alarm.
just the alarm, okay.
We've had a lot of smell issues. And
What kind of smell?
sewer smell.
Sewer smell, okay.
And so we tend to get them sometimes if it's perhaps dry out and that kind of thing. So I've been pouring a lot of water down drains, but the elementary office is the one we've had the most trouble with. And the day it happened, I poured water down every night. I had told the teachers to just leave their water running. And it still didn't go away, so I shut the air handler unit that runs the elementary office off. And then it went away. And I think it was a few weeks before that I had Gartner come out and they put a copper trap in. And so I thought that, because we had a little bit of issues before, and I thought that that would take care of it, and that was worse. And so I actually had Gartner out today because I had air handler for the kitchen, the one controller was not closing the damper. So we replaced that. And then we looked into a couple other electronic issues and got them fixed. So I showed them the air handler that runs the main office. Cause that has a actual trap that I have to pour water in periodically. And so then we went down to that one, and apparently there is a trap in the concrete wall. And that he was able to find. So we found that, and that was dry, so I'm gonna pour water in that, and I'm hoping that that fixes it. If that doesn't fix it, then I have no idea. No clue whatsoever what's going on there. But
It's a sewer smell?
yeah, but even he said that they're not right. That's not how they should be put in. Because especially like the one in the office down there, there's basically what the trap is for condensation when the chiller is running. That's basically what it's for. But the way they have it hooked up, so like that one down there, it's hooked up, but it runs into the bathroom right next to it. And it's hooked up to that line in there that goes out
The vent stuff.
that
So
vent.
it's getting some.
So then
gas.
so then you have that draw from the air handler, it's constantly pulling air.
Sure.
And if that crap dries out, it just sucks it
Yeah.
right up into the.
Well, there potentially could be a crack in a pipe at some point too, behind a
Well,
wall or somewhere.
if this doesn't fix it, then that's
When was,
the problem.
when was that put in? Was that with the new,
That was the
when-
referendum.
when
And
the
that was down-
elementary?
That one down there was originally.
Oh, this
put
one
in.
here, both of the offices, there's issues?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that one's fine though, because I just pour water in that
Okay.
crap and it can't draw smell in, but technically it still can because there's an opening where it can still, but it's not gonna be, unless the drain's actually backing up, it's not gonna cause an issue. So hopefully that will fix that problem. And I guess I can just put antifreeze in them, but there again, if the chiller is working, then there's no point in putting it in anyways, because it's gonna just pull that out when the water is running, so.
I'll just speak at this point. Sorry. My daughter had a situation similar in an elbow or whatever you're calling it. And a plumber told them to put vegetable oil
Yeah, you can do that
in
too.
that because it doesn't evaporate.
It's like antifreeze that one.
Okay.
And, otherwise, when I started up the boiler, everything was pretty much functioning correctly, running fine. I had a leak at the cobalt room that was just a simple cartridge I had to replace. I've had a bunch of faucets I've had to repair, batteries and other parts. I had a backup in Morris's room. So that would have been Cobalt's old room down there. And I really don't know why that happened. I checked the septic tank and the lift station and they were both working fine, so I don't have any clue why that backed up. I poured some not chemical, but some bacteria stuff in the drain. Hopefully it'll break whatever is up in there. But I know that room, I mean, for the past couple of years, they haven't really done much as far as water usage in that room, so I don't know. I really don't know what come out of that drain, because it wasn't toilet paper. It looked like ceiling tile chunks. So I really don't know what was in there.
My school.
Are they able to abandon that trap and run a condensate line to a different sewer line on that chiller?
We could, but then we'd have to get a plumber out to basically do that work. Gartner can't do it because they're not certified plumbers. So I'd have to have a plumber out and basically re-plumb them. So then you don't have that trap. Basically, they're gonna double trap it. It's probably what.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's mostly I think that's about it, I think.
All right. Don't have anything else for Dan at this minute.
Do you know anything about updating the fire system, what a cost, anything on that? You're just gonna meet with them soon?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, I do have the quotes for the other repairs. The air handlers and Univent.
Will you get them on with Lisa for the next meeting? Is it things that we need to approve?
I mean, yeah, I can send it to her.
Okay. Well, we'll have to go that route so we can take a look over them and get approval for them and all that if we need to. When it comes to the fire, sorry. When it comes to the fire system, is it tied in with any of our other alarm systems that we
No,
would have
it's-
to update?
That's separate.
Okay. 'Cause I know sometimes they're all interconnected at times. Anything else for Dan? A minute? All right, the next thing is we have our snow plowing bids. So Dan, if you can hang out for that at least. All right, we got 3 bids total. They're all sealed. Opening the first one here. Envelope and an envelope. Some puzzle.
Hope there's not an envelope. You see one more.
All right. The envelope says Trax Outdoor LLC. Yeah.
That's the one. We can.
Okay. And it's like $100 an hour.
Can you remind us of, it was for sidewalk and to plow snow at 1 inch, 2 inches?
I think, I don't know if it's 2 or 3.
But it was to include the sidewalks and
That
the,
doesn't include.
not the sidewalks, just the plowing at
Just basically.
2 or
party
3
ones.
of the parking lots. Okay. That good, or do you need me to pull up that? That's good.
Is that include the playground too?
Yeah, that area back there.
Okay. anyone wants to look that over, it talks about their insurance coverage as well on there.
$100 an hour.
Yep. Next bid. Want to see it, Amy? Sorry. All right, this is from DeJoc Company.
The job, did you say?
Yep, DeJoc.
Okay.
And snow plowing truck, they have at $95 an hour. And snow plowing skid steer or loader, they have $125 per hour. Do we know? It looks like they'd be running both at the same time, I think, from the way this reads, it shows a total of 220.
I think that's just how their bid system works. It just adds everything up, even if you have like separate estimates.
Okay,
It would just total it at the bottom.
do we know what they would be skid steering, or is that just an option we would pick? Do you know offhand?
My guess is to get done faster,
Or if we have a lot of
Other
snow and
than
we have
that,
to haul it out.
but if we have yeah, we don't,
Pilot.
I mean, we pile, but sometimes we've had to take the whole pile out.
Send it your way first.
yeah, maybe that includes moving piles.
What did tracks use last year? Was it just a truck? Did they
Yeah,
have a skid? steer?
Yeah, they just use trucks. But then if we had,
So they might be doing both with that one, and that's why they're putting it as
yeah,
200 an hour. They'd be running two things.
Or just as needed with loader and skid.
yeah, that's the only thing. If they're running two machines, they're gonna be done faster than.
Exactly,
Truck drivers.
right. So it could take half the time,
Yeah.
potentially. Okay, opening up the third one.
We can get the clarification before the meeting next week.
This is the St. Croix Construction. And this is, like I said, St. Croix Construction. Rate of 175 per push for all areas discussed. So it says 150 an hour with skid steer to remove snow accumulated in designated areas. Prices are negotiable, license insured through tribal umbrella. Representative Michael Lapointe. So it sounds like they'd be having one unit, but we can get some clarification on that too.
One unit for 150. That
Well,
an hour?
reads like on there, but
Yeah, I mean, they also say rate of 175 per push. So I don't know if that means per snow.
yeah, that's, it
So
gets
you
a
wanna
little
know what per
confusing.
push means, and what was the other thing you wanted clarity on?
For the jock or for this one?
No, for this one, just
For this one is, would it just be one unit? The one skid steer, or just as a clarification?
Skid steer does take a lot longer.
Right,
Well, they should have access to a plow truck.
yeah,
I
but
can't say for sure, but they should.
just some clarification at the rate.
Try to plow everything in the winter with skid steer.
Yeah.
that type of rate.
So as a review,
They did fine, other than the fact that they were there at times they weren't supposed to.
Oh, they did more than-
Here. Oh, they were supposed to get done supposed to be done before school started.
Oh, time wise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then they were showing up when school started and then they were out there pushing. Buses were coming.
Oh.
So I had to tell them that you're gonna have to come back. I mean, we didn't have problems before, the year before that, but last year we had issues with that.
So they have done it multiple years.
Yeah, we've had them.
We haven't gotten.
God track maybe.
Maybe we used to.
Probably the third.
Oh, so.
I don't know if they just didn't have enough people
Sure.
and they were much.
Says appeal, but.
I don't know.
Derek.
If we can just, yeah, get clarification on those couple things.
So just to reiterate, Trax Outdoors LLC, $100 an hour rate. The Jacques Company would be $95 an hour for a truck rate and $125 an hour for a skid steer loader per hour rate for a potential of $220 an hour. But we need to get clarification on that. And then St. Croix Construction, $150 an hour with skid steer, but says $175 per push for all areas discussed. So just need some clarification on what that exactly means and if it be one unit or multiple.
Do you want those emailed out or do you want just brought to the full board?
Let's bring them to the, if we can get all the answers, let's bring it to the full board meeting on next Monday and we'll make a decision then. Thanks to everyone who put their bids in, it is much appreciated. Always glad to see lots of companies that wanna come to the aid of the school district's snow removal needs. All right. Playground, oak tree trimming.
All right, so we have a big beautiful tree that we just built the playground around, and I noticed some of the branching had some cracking in it at the trunk. So I had 3 different tree services come out to take a look at it, and they gave wildly different reports, as you saw on there. One said the tree, so Fallen Tree Service said that they didn't think the tree was in great health, and it wasn't like it was gonna come over now, but they would recommend removing it. And then they gave those estimates, I think, what was it, like 200, and they were on the lower end for the removal. The removals are to leave the wood behind so that we can just toss it over the fence, so there isn't the cost then that way. Roof said that they did see some decay as well, but taking off those branches that are at the very bottom, just because they're weak, would be a good place to start. And then seeing what would happen, how the tree would heal after having those removed. And then Skyline didn't think that there was any danger from that crack. They thought it was from over pruning when the tree was younger, and they wouldn't recommend doing anything with it. The branches are quite low. If nature were to prune them, I think they would go straight down. They're not at a height where they would fall off onto any equipment or anything. If there was, for whatever, wind or anything like that. So whatever people think we should do, whether it's leave it or trim them or whatever. I would say the branches are 8 to 10 feet off the ground. The 2 that are at the bottom where this cracking starts.
I have to look at it, I haven't.
Yeah.
If you had any concern, Jill, I'll ask you since you're out there.
I have not had any concern about the health of the tree, but the kids do grab the
Yeah.
thin branches that they can and they're aching on them.
Yeah, I mean, the branches are very low. I mean, they bring down, they come down and they hang quite low. So it would probably be helpful for mowing and other things to have them taken off, whether it's for the actual health of the tree or
I
not.
have
Does it?
to reach up to
Yeah.
touch them.
Mhm.
And I'm 5'2",
Mhm.
so
Um,
that's not tall, but I mean,
they're there, yeah.
it's probably 6 or 7 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd hate to see it removed.
Well, and
Yeah.
if the removal was to happen, obviously we'd get another tree in there, like we'd have to get some quotes and see what the kind of fallen burlap tree we could get in. And I'm hoping to collect some trees to plant along the fence line so that we can start getting some trees back in there outside of the perimeter. Working on some ideas.
I know that Skyline is like an actual what do they call them, arborist?
He is works with the DNR. He doesn't do tree trimming, but he said he'd come out and look at the tree, so of a person of tree knowledge, I felt like he would know the best about the disease or injury to the tree compared to the other two that are probably just very skilled at cutting trees down.
It looks like a pretty healthy tree to me.
Yeah, if it's not posing a immediate threat, I say we let it go for now and just keep an eye on
You
it.
start seeing branches dying off. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, I couldn't get my hand up to see how far that rot went in for where the crack is at. So I'm fine leaving it as well. Just glad to get some
yeah,
more expertise on it.
no, that was a great idea. Excellent,
Thanks, Jenny.
appreciate the info. Moving on, third Friday pupil count.
So I gave you a packet there to look through. I also updated it today because we found we had missed one student, so I had to recertify today. Thank you. So this year's adjusted head count is higher than last year's. It's the adjusted head count. It's 401 now instead of 400. Last year was 388. Open enrollment, in, out, head counts, third Friday, very hard to really parse out exactly what's happening because there's a lot of movement with kids. So it's a hard thing to explain. So I'm gonna try my best. Just a little bit of information. Let's just focus on transfer ins and transfer outs for a second, not the head count itself. This year we had 2 new incoming, new to open enrollment, and they wanted to attend Siren, so we had 2 there. Some themes in the ones who left. The themes were some wanted and or saw better academic achievements at another school and wanted to go there. Some returned to their resident district. Some wanted online courses that they couldn't get here. Some actually moved into the school district, which would pull them out of open enrolling, still ours, but not open enrolled any longer, if that makes sense. We had 2 that distinctly said that they were upset with last year's elementary situation and returned to their resident districts because of it. And we had a family that moved to a brand new district and moved out. So those were kind of the themes for transfer ins. For transfer outs, we had, last year we had 95, this year we had 118. The themes were for those who, let's see, we've got some that moved into the district, into our district, but they wanted to attend elsewhere. They're like new to Siren School District, but wanted to attend to a different school. Or they moved into a non-resident, into the non-resident district themselves. That was a high percentage. That was like 9 of them. Some, I don't know for sure on this one, but one might have opened and rolled out due to sports, but not entirely sure. We did have 3. Did you have a question? I'm sorry.
No.
Okay. We did have 3 that were court ordered to open and roll out to another district. And we had 7 that were upset with last year's elementary situation. So there's those. Then we had 19. So it was really kind of funny because this year we had, last year we had 117. We added 20. We lost 19 and we ended up with 118. So this year, this year, we had 117, we added 20, we lost 19, we ended up with 118. So the 19 there, then minus 19, they all open enrolled and then they moved out of the district entirely. Or they moved to the new district totally. Or they applied to several schools, which created a negative entry for those that they did not end up attending, because they can actually enroll, they can apply to enroll to 3 schools. So that of course affects the numbers. Or they open enrolled out, but then they returned to Siren District. And there were some duplicate entries. So that's kind of the general themes for the transfer in, transfer outs. I think I gave you the changes from last year. I added a new packet this afternoon that changed a little bit with that one student. So So do you have any questions at all on that? I mean,
I have some questions.
Yeah, I can try to answer them.
Okay, so 118 open enrolled out. 41, so a net loss of 77 kids.
Not just.
So
or
it's-
go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, so the head count was 324. You said, you saw it's 320.
Yes,
Had that one.
Is that-
Then we had 41 transferred in. That's a negative. That's subtracted. And then we had 118 transfer out. That's a positive. So that gives us 401 as our adjusted head count. It's very counterintuitive.
Oh, so the enrollment out are actually the students coming? to
Because they're
play?
in our district, but they're enrolling out to another
Oh.
district. So they're
Okay,
actually
the head-
treated as,
What Lisa had said to me is the head count is the actual bodies in the seats here in the school.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's the 324.
yes.
So my question is, looking at these numbers, because of the plus and minus, it gets confusing in my
I know.
brain.
Mhm.
Is there a net loss of 77 students?
I don't think you can talk about it in that way. 'Cause
Well, I don't
would
know
say
what you
that-
mean.
Well, I guess I would tell you that we have 324 students in the building. We have 41 of them who are transferred in from another district. Those are subtracted. We have 118 that are transferred out to other districts. That's an addition. So our adjusted head count is actually 401.
What
So
is,
the adjusted head count isn't the same as the rolling average.
I think that's
can't
what it
answer that.
is.
That's what it
Adjusted
is.
head
That's
count.
not bodies in.
Right, I think that's the
That-
average
Exactly,
three-year.
that's kind of what I'm getting
Yeah.
at.
And the rolling average goes by FTE, not actual.
Yeah, like 4K is not.
So we're aided on the
Yeah,
rolling number.
Okay, I get that
And
part.
that's this sheet right here too, if you want, somebody asked for history.
Yeah.
There's history for you and they're on this sheet.
So what it looks like is a lot of students less. But the concern is that when there was a projected enrollment for this year, it was 41 students more than we actually have. So when we're looking at the budget, we had a projection of 365 kids, down from 376. But our actual body count is 324, which means that what we were looking at as a budget, we've lost 40 kids at thousands of dollars per kid. So it would have a budgetary impact that was significant, is my question or point.
I'm showing 31, not 40 on the transfer ins. Are you talking about?
No, I'm
Because
talking
last
about,
year was 72.
okay, last year,
Was 72.
okay, the projection sheet that I was looking at had last year's,
So that's what you do.
last year's was 376 or something very similar to that. Is that what you have?
So
And then this year was projected to drop to 365 people in the school. That's what we had on a budgetary sheet that was given to us earlier.
projected
The
numbers?
projected budget.
And that would be coming from Carrie and Jamie.
365.
I don't know if that was a total, but that's what I think she's
But is
thinking
it-
about when you guys give us projected like third grade and fourth grade and fifth grade numbers or middle school, high school, when you guys give us those, I think back in April, May. I think that's what Polly's talking about. And I don't know what the numbers, I'd have to look back
But
at.
the number that counts for the state for our funding is the adjusted head count number.
The
yes,
400.
well, that's what we're
400.
aided on. So right
So
now,
we're-
Laura, this is our revenue limit
Yep.
worksheet right here. That's pre-calculated, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's self, we
And
don't.
it's based on 400.
Yeah, so the number she has for next year, correct me if I'm wrong here, you have 408 times 11,000 per
Yeah.
kid.
So we haven't under met the budget number
Because the adjusted head count counts.
because the adjusted. head
And it's
count is
3-year
higher.
average, so that's why it's not a. Yeah, you're not held
But it
harmless.
wasn't, the number for last year wasn't showing that. It wasn't showing the number.
Last year was.
It says, here it says last year's adjusted head count was 388. But that's,
375.
no, I'm looking at this. The email that we were sent from Lisa that was also attached today,
Uh-huh.
okay? So that says that
Last year's was 388. Uh-huh.
388, but that's not what we saw on our budget worksheet. We saw 376. And then this year's projected, not by the state, not by an adjusted head count or anything. The projection that we were given on the budget worksheet thing was 365. So what that tells me is there's 41 students less than what we were looking at on that budget sheet.
Can't answer your question, I'm very bottom.
Okay. What I'm saying is, are we going to need to make some new changes in the budget based on these numbers?
Yeah, I think the budget that we're reflecting, correct me if I'm wrong, is the number that the state puts in for us. That's what we have to use for the budget, the 408.
They pick the number for us of what they're gonna give us funds for based on an
Based on
average
the
of
3-year average.
3-year average. So they're always gonna be looking
That's
back
what
at
this
the
number
3-year
is.
average.
But these are not the numbers we were given earlier.
We had a budget projection.
Mhm.
that we were
It was
projecting.
like the end of 24-25 was one number, and then the projection for 25-26 was another number.
I'm assuming it had to do with what number of students we had enrolled in Siren, like head count.
That
It's our
could-
head count because it would be the seniors leaving and not knowing where 4K was. Is probably what the numbers is that you're looking at,
Yeah,
so,
they were guessed.
so it's like that confusion of like head count versus. What's the other word here, adjusted head count, actual head count versus, and then my question was, where does homeschooling come into any of
It
this?
doesn't.
So even though they're in our school district, they don't get counted for at all, so it's irrelevant, just we get their taxes, but their student bodies don't.
They do
Count?
not count in my third Friday counts or my second Friday counts at all. Nothing.
So really where we're gonna see this isn't this year, like what I'm worried
Right.
about, it's
And
next
the
year
biggest
when
thing
it's
is
gonna
we
be
get their tax
huge.
money.
It'd be nice to get.
If we lose any more kids next year, and with what we lost, this is the lowest number for that 3-year, and it's gonna bring down that 3-year a lot. Is that what you're thinking?
I haven't looked at 3 years.
Not sure.
Well, 2024 was our lowest year.
Yeah, so we go from 412 to 375 to 400. That's our new
And
3-year
now
average.
next year's, they're saying it's 408.
One actually,
401, yeah.
we had a change today.
So the number that we got 8 on for this year would have been the average of 22, 23, and 24.
Yep.
So it'd be 424, 412, and 375.
429, 412.
So they say 412.
Yeah. So that's the number the state would do. And now we're gonna pull it down a year, and we just have 2024 in there as our lowest year right now at 375. That one's gonna pull down our average a little bit.
That's just gonna make me.
I tried to do that average and it didn't come out the same, so.
I mean, this is pre-populated,
By the
this
state.
worksheet by
Yeah.
the state. We don't,
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah,
I'm just
so-
saying, it doesn't come out with the actual number when you do the average of it.
well, doesn't, yeah.
Well, I mean, there's nothing we can do about it.
No, there's
It's
adjustments in the
all
formula.
big
I mean, they're-
System somewhere.
I can tell you from going to, and this is a little off Polly's point, but I can tell you from going to my conference 2 weeks ago that we are not alone in declining enrollment. And I included several articles for you that came.
Yeah,
out.
I read all of them.
Yeah, there's statewide trends are lots of larger graduating classes that are graduating out.
The actual average.
Sorry, Lisa.
That's okay, I
didn't cut you
did
off.
just make sure that we're, so just that some of the statewide trends are larger graduating classes are graduating out, but lower pre-Ks are coming in.
Yeah, that was. one of the ones.
Lower class sizes upcoming, and then less children being born, people are having smaller family units, so that kind of was
But
across.
we
all
know
the
that,
districts.
that's a 20-year trend, and that was in one of the articles.
Yeah, that's what I just was, I was just kind of summarizing the rest of
Oh,
my report.
Cause it doesn't make sense that that's catching us by surprise when it's been a trend for 20 years.
It was just like
Yeah,
some of the
I-
information I came up with as I was.
and it's impacting different districts differently. It's not just Siren, like it,
Right,
you know, there are other
That was-
districts.
I don't think any of us are surprised by it, but it may be more financially hitting as we're getting obviously lower and lower numbers.
Yeah, and these districts were all bigger. They weren't, I mean, I guess I'm curious about the districts surrounding us. And I had heard Frederick's I had heard Fredericks, but I can't remember what it was 412 or something.
I'm gonna say one thing out of that conference of all those districts, I did not hear one single district said, yay, our numbers are going up. Not one.
Yeah, only one of the articles
Well, I
they
think more
shared
kids
had
are
them
being
going
in
up.
school too.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
bigger
I
families.
think
are
there's a
going to
neighboring
school,
district, I just
so-
don't wanna mention the name, but
I
it's
mean-
probably going to referendum for the first time in. I
Why-
don't know, in my time, they've never gone to referendum.
Well, I heard Osceola's closing their elementary school.
Hudson just closed.
Yeah, Hudson's closing
Mhm.
too. Osceola's closing their elementary school. They're gonna bring their elementary to middle school.
Oh, Claire's close to second.
So I heard they were closing the elementary and I thought the elementary students were gonna be going into the intermediate school. I mean, the person who told me,
Yep.
so.
Going back to say.
I think it's pretty much a given that it's not, if we're not dealing with declining student rates, we're gonna be declining with federal funding and other things on top of it, so. Yeah, we need to really focus on keeping the budget as small as we can because we don't know the guaranteed money that's gonna be coming in over the next couple of years, especially next year and the year after.
Well, not just keeping the budget small, but figuring out how we can best utilize these dollars to provide the basic education that students all deserve to have.
Yep.
And how we can bring kids back to our district, because that's
Yeah.
the best way to increase our revenue.
We can get really good at the basic stuff, then we can work to add those fun things in later too.
Can't do nothing without teachers.
Right.
Okay.
Anyone have anything else for Lisa at this point?
I think Laura went to get
Yeah,
something, but.
her numbers.
Yeah, and those Baird pieces were just projections.
We can
That's
circle
not-
back to
Yeah,
that
yeah.
too when I'm
Oh, that is the
topic
number
three.
that I was talking about, those Baird.
Projections, yeah, there were
Yeah.
projections, and I think,
And I'm fine with
I
that.
think they
My
were
point is
conservative.
just, do we need to
Did-
change?
Did Baird base it off of a lower,
I
a
think-
higher
I thought
number?
it was 360 something.
It was 365.
That's what we projected,
That,
but our,
the total head count for last year.
That was 376, wasn't it?
360.
No, that was the total head count for last year.
So we're gonna do
But that
better.
doesn't include the ins and outs either.
Sure.
365 is just what's in the bill.
Not what we actually states get aid off of.
so I think you used previous year numbers, right, as our budget? I think that was the three, typically what we do to project a budget is use previous year numbers. And that's a state trend, that's what we're told to do, is that,
The 3-year roll.
is that what that was? I'm just trying to. I can't remember, but.
I don't have to think of it. Yeah, I'm just trying to understand as far as budgeting in the future, what it's gonna look like if we're down 41 kids this year.
Jesus.
And knowing that this year, it looks like that rolling average helps us, but looking into the future, I don't.
Yeah, it's gonna change the average, but that's why they have the 3-year average.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not held harmless for the 41. It's based on the average.
Yes,
So yes, we had a loss, but it's average so that you don't take the hit. That was.
One more year and we can drop that 3.7,
That's in the state formula. Yeah.
oh, 2 more years.
So does this make sense that as I'm sitting here and you're all talking, it makes me think about this year's adjusted head count is more kids than last year's. So whatever budgeting you guys were doing should actually be
Better, right, we should be
not
getting.
worse
Yeah.
for this year.
Yep.
And then I totally get where Paulie's coming from, but if you're looking at this, it looks like this year, you're not gonna have to cut more this year, but you may in the future.
It really helped
Yeah.
us next year, cause we're still in that 375, but we'll drop by 9 on our
Right.
rolling average.
So we'll still be above 388.
Yeah,
So next 2 years, we're still better than we were last year.
and once we can get that 375 off the rolling average.
Yeah.
As long as numbers.
Continue to
We're also
improve.
told that there are nuances in this formula that occur every year that change things. We don't know what they are.
Yeah.
They change things on that every year, and we're told that by DPI and different legislators or lawyers. We don't know what the nuances, the changes are.
And the 365 is actually FTE. I don't
Okay.
have actual.
Charger.
okay.
See, there's no public race.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
It's
And
extremely.
the pluses and minuses don't make any
Oh, they're
sense.
so comfortable.
No, and then how it ends up on the revenue limit worksheet, I mean, it's based on the average.
Right.
But how they get to the number, to get in the average is your guess.
Right.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, it was very,
Do you have another paper copy, Lisa?
Yeah, I do.
I'm gonna print up the board meeting this FTE projection.
okay,
You would get it.
okay, thanks.
Thank you.
I tried printing it when I was not there, but my printers aired over.
All right. Ready to move on to the next thing? All right.
Yep.
Retail food
I
establishment.
just wanna share this with you. There were no violations. Every time Tiffany has a report that comes to the kitchen, I wanna share with the board as a method of being transparent. So this was the last inspection they had, and it was no violations on the inspection. And you can see the categories, but if you want more details, I'll have her put something in writing, but basically food temperature, location, freezer temperature and that sort of thing. It's just it's a standard inspection.
Yep.
And I will tell you, since Tiffany came, we have had very, very, very good inspections, with minimal violations. And I know there's a lot of rumors and things that go out there, but our food service has really done a really good job in terms of maintaining inspection rates and compliance rates.
Are all the people in the kitchen food safe certified?
I think so,
Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, they usually go on all.
And then it lasts
They
like
go
5
together,
years or
but I
something.
don't know how long they last.
They last 5 years. Mine's up in 27.
So I just want to share that with you, and I'll continue to do so as they come.
Appreciate that. All right, so the next thing is board meetings moved. I believe this is looking at trying to move them from Mondays to a different day during the week. Not sure if there's a better day that works for everyone else. I know Wednesdays are pretty much out, and of course Fridays would not be really feasible, so left with Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays.
This was the first I've heard of it. Is there a problem for?
I don't know, some people have brought it up in the past that, but we keep scheduling everything on Monday, even though we have free choice to make whatever we want to schedule, so.
I mean, my kids are in sports, so Tuesdays and Thursdays aren't gonna work for me. I mean, Wednesdays would work for me better, but I know they don't work for Katie, so. And so Mondays, I guess, to me, work just as well as, work better than most,
I think Mondays are fine.
unless it's a time frame. I mean, if we could do them earlier, but then. But you, Amy, how's your?
I think they work fine.
Okay. Yeah, I figured since we've been basically voluntarily making them on Mondays that. Yeah, so. Anyways, not sure how it got there, but it's there, so. If anyone wanted to voice, otherwise they could. Moving on, closing activity accounts. So this was a circle back because we basically had agreed to close out the old class accounts and whatnot through the policy that we put into place. So then we've got the list of these other accounts, and we just kind of, I know some people have said, do we want to put it out there to the public to see if anyone is interested in some of these or not? Does anyone have any in particular that they want to go out to the public to see if any are interested in?
I don't know that we can do that since these are actually student activity accounts.
Okay.
I thought it was just the classes we were trying to get a hold of someone from the previous classes.
How's that endeavor going?
We got one
One.
closed.
Yay.
Nice.
And Becky was, and I never got back to her that she could proceed with the other ones.
We have names of officers and things like that.
Okay.
I reached out to
Send them
one.
letters, so.
Well, I think the other one was just closing the ones that we don't have anymore and that are at a zero balance.
Which are the highlighted ones that are on here, right?
and
Well, there's
that
a
really
couple-
aren't being used at all anymore.
Well, there, I mean, most of them, I mean, obviously the softball one, I'd send the money because I think it was from when we did fundraisers, so the money should go to Webster or the program. At Webster, but I don't know, like, what concerns me is the one that has a little bit more money than most of them, the S Fund or the S Club.
So that was kind of like a catch-all account
Okay.
for a while, like the Burnett's money would go into.
Oh,
that.
okay. So would that be good to go to like concessions or something?
Or, so I know Dog Fultz has used it for like buying art supplies to make like some of the stuff that goes on the lockers and. that kind of
Sports
stuff.
stuff, the homecoming.
It used to be a teacher account.
Is that what it was?
The pop machines were.
Cause I know like I used to
Mm.
put the lounge pop machine money.
Hmm,
Yeah, cause
or teachers.
you had a checkbook for, I had the checkbook for a while, you had it for a while. I don't know when that went away. Karsten had it first.
Just so you know, the pop machines, about 6 years ago, they stopped paying us anything. And then this year, we went through a little stage where we were figuring out why they stopped. It's just the way their business program was. We looked at Coke and Pepsi and now they're giving us money again.
Is it
So
Burnix?
it's through Burnix and now they're gonna give us money. The first month that we had the machines moved down here, we had to move them away because of middle school, but they made as much money as they had in the last whole year.
Yeah, my kid.
So we're actually gonna get
was a
money
kid.
at the end of the year to make up for all of that. So anyway, just so you know,
lot of dollars.
somehow it just disappeared. And sadly enough, I asked the question, so it ended up being my thing to figure out why, but I don't know why. I never did get a straight answer why they stopped paying us. But they had sent us a letter saying we're no longer paying you. And he could show me a copy of it. It was about, I think it was 6 years ago, 5, 6 years, whatever it was. And when I called and said, well, that, we don't want them then. And we want to look at Coke, they decided that they did want us to do it and they're putting money into our fund for us to be able to get new, scoreboards or whatever. So we're also gonna have a separate fund.
Remember that was.
Yeah, we used
part of
to,
it back.
yep, we used to get all those things and that's all back in the contract. So we're back into getting those things. That did just disappear. And nobody really knows why.
So Laura, could you take these highlighted ones and separate them to say like, these accounts are gonna get put in the general fund and this account money would do better to be put in a different account and closed? And then we could be able to vote on
Yeah.
the specifics with those dollar amounts. Like, for example, the 5th, 6th grade fund, should that just be put in the 7th, 8th grade fund? Well, that one's at 0 right now, or is that, I don't know, are there some that would, some that would go over here and some that would go over there kind of a thing? Okay. However you think would best sort them out.
And there's like no chance for golf to come back or dance cheerleading.
That's what I was more asking about, if we wanted to put that out to,
I mean, we have dance cheerleading on the,
It's a club where
Still
golf
this-
is a sport. So the
But-
clubs can come back easier than the sports, can't
Yeah.
they?
we do for dance, pay an advisor. Have one.
Right. But for if we added golf, then you get into you have to add an equal, like it'd have to be boys and girls.
And they're two
The
different
sports
times
have
of the
to,
year.
well, we could have as many clubs as we want of different kinds, which is where that dance and cheerleading one.
Gotcha.
But when it's sports, they have to have equal sport opportunities for both boys and girls.
I'm
And then-
not sure if cheerleading isn't considered a sport
It is.
because.
It is a
when I
sport too?
was
Okay, I thought it was a
advisor,
club.
I had to go to the athletic.
Did you?
meetings.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was on that club list. And when golf was, like historically, golf had to do everything on their own, like they had to raise all their own funds to pay their own coach, cause it wasn't. An activity through this, it was through the school, but the school didn't provide any fund for it. Which still gives them the opportunity to do that in the future if there was a group that wanted to. put those funds together.
Is it harder to reopen? Like, let's say we close it and then in 4 years, somebody wants to bring, is it a big deal if we closed it now and then you needed to reopen one in 4 years?
It'd be like middle school cross country, right, where we just came up with that and passed it.
Right, I just didn't
Or-
know like what goes into closing it versus opening, like if we're like, okay, let's close all these and all of a sudden some major changes happen in 2 years and now Laura's like, does she wanna wring her necks because we closed these, or is she cool with like, we're just gonna open new ones?
Yeah, I would just come to you guys with the
Yeah,
account number and
great.
you go to open.
Who sends in that one account?
Mhm.
Yay.
There's a few though,
Yeah,
cheerleading and.
The AODA one has 16 in it.
Ribbon skirts.
And that,
Ribbon.
that one probably shouldn't go anywhere since we keep receiving grants for AODA.
Yeah, and that one
And
was.
that
a
one
grant.
probably shouldn't go anywhere other than to AODA stuff. And also the other one that's on here that I was looking at that has got highlighted is the Red Ribbon Week. And Red Ribbon stuff. We haven't done those things. That doesn't mean we can't.
Well,
Because
the
we have
that's
it.
Red Ribbon and AODA are under the same.
The same account.
Yeah.
So,
So what's the
16
RIF
for both
or the
providers.
school-based in on the bottom of that?
Yeah, I don't, what are the accounts RIF account and school-based in account?
RIF is the books.
RIF is the books, school-based industry.
Books of what?
The RIF books, reading is fundamental. When the kids used to get free books, we still do?
Oh, like
The
Yeah,
Lions
that's all.
give them books, right?
Well,
That's
kindergarten, they used to get like the stage A, B, C, D in kindergarten. I'm assuming maybe those.
Mm-mm.
The guys came home with packs.
Federal program.
Okay.
And now it's just paid for basically through donations from teachers and Lions Club for various places for the kids to get at least one free book.
Well, okay.
every year.
So that is
That's
where
great.
those books come from the Lions. Okay.
That's different from that club. The Lions Club donate to the book fair.
Yes.
And then moms for kids.
Lisa.
Okay.
And the school-based one, that was from Jed at the coffee shop.
Well, yeah, and any other funds that would throw in there from the business, but yes.
Mhm.
We did frames and stuff too one time.
mhm. And that makes sense to have that because we could very well have that class again.
Mhm.
School-based industry class. There's no, I mean, there's nothing saying that we wouldn't have that again.
Right.
And if we did have it again, we wouldn't, if we had a little bit of money, it'd sure be a lot easier for them to have some place to start with that as opposed to coming and asking for money right away.
Mhm.
Well, Laura, we'll let you use your best judgment and then tell us. How it should be parsed out.
so we'll wait to get the compiled list from Laura and then we'll make a decision based on that.
Do you want at the next call meeting? And not the board meeting?
Well, we have to vote on it at the monthly meeting.
It doesn't have to happen
Um,
this month, though. It-
no,
We could give it.
No, it could be at the next cow. All right. Now circling back, going to number 3. A report and referral for the treasurer's report.
Not really any change in, I did not pay any on the short-term borrowing with our money. But we'll get into that with short-term borrowing.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that.
And then capital referendum as of 9:30, that's the dollar amount we have left in there. Playground. I haven't received any. invoices
Yeah,
from
they're
any-
still, they're waiting to close out some things because there's some work they need to do.
Have we heard any numbers yet about that?
No,
Okay,
it'll be in our favor because they're gonna fix the brick that they broke, but we don't know who broke it, so I think Stout's just gonna take it. But we have to get some bids that, and of all the concrete people I called, like 3 numbers were out of service and no one called me back, so. We're still working on that. But they were gonna give us a credit or just pay for it, like we'll owe them less than what they bidded us out because they gotta fix this.
Okay, that'll go to the monthly for approval. Any other questions from anyone before I move to the next part? Okay, on the final budget discussion. Is there a particular order you wanna go on with these? Lauren?
Which document are we gonna start in?
So do you wanna start with the revenue and expenses? So these are the ones that we didn't cover in the one budget meeting.
Mhm.
Oh, this is the projected fund 10 number.
So. Not to jump ahead, but the second page. Line 345 or 800-345. There's a $202,000 difference from last year.
Yep, that's our open enrollment. So based on her open enrollment numbers, on her state reporting, that is the dollar amount we're supposed to be getting in.
And that's just the open enrollments are down for this year, but we had other students that buffered that back up to give our number a higher overall to get that 400, right?
Well, that's. The
But
dollar.
the number was still down.
Dollar.
For open enrollment, oh, remember those numbers I have you
Yep.
give me?
I'll have to pull it up. I don't have it memorized.
So when,
$204,000.
yeah,
Less. But is that because more kids enrolled out?
So
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
So is that money that what we get for those coming in, or is that money that we lost
That's
because we had
for
students go out?
in.
Transferred in.
So less transferred in open enrollment, so we're getting, or they've graduated or whatnot, so we lost that.
But some also moved into the district, so now they don't count as an open enrollment, they just count as our general fund for, general pot, where, and that,
I don't know that that matters. The number of students is what matters.
but this is only for open
Yeah,
enrollment students.
that number right
That
there.
line,
Right.
so somewhere is the other line for all the rest of the students, and that might be higher.
That would be your,
Don't know which line it is.
Equalization aid,
yes,
621, page 3, top of page 3. That's almost that is over 2,000, well, wait, no,
No,
then you have adjustment,
that's less.
right,
so that's less too, based off of what we got adjustment for last year.
But that's not the one for each kid. Per pupil, that's,
So per pupil is,
which line is per pupil, here's that. On the page from state.
But that's still down from this year too, or last year too.
Well, or if we use budgeted, if this 2025, 26. That's the budgeted amount.
Of course, yeah, and then we're actually looking at. Budget is less, and then that's actually what we expended, is that expenditure what we got? That second line.
Are you looking at like sparsity aid right now? What page are you guys on?
Page 3.
Yeah,
Oh, they're, okay.
well, I see sparsity aid right
Yeah, I
here,
just went
too.
down to the per pupil aid.
so yeah, the per pupil aid is the
Yeah,
other.
But
half of
wait,
the-
it's these two.
But it's still, Our number in here for this fourth column over 25-26 budget is a number we arbitrarily picked to just budget off of, right? It's not the actual state number of 400 and whatever as you're filling that worksheet out.
So it's equalization.
Like, or what? Cause some of these are.
And this one doesn't have.
That's the question.
For our-
Are these budgeted, proposed budgeted numbers or are they actual?
For the 25-26
estimate? Are they
budget
estimate or Are
line,
they actual?
that number that we used for the number of students, is that the number the state gave us or the number that we were kind of waffling about the state gave us? Okay. And that's for this year right now that we're in. Not for next year anyway. Yeah. Okay.
So if I'm reading this correctly. And we go down to the grand revenue totals. Subtracting the 2 million in loan, we're short.
Where are you at, Tom? What page?
We go to page 6.
Okay,
It says grand revenue total.
yep,
And it says 9,153,000 is the projected. But that's with the $2 million loan put into it.
Yeah.
So technically, without it, we'd be at 7,153,000.
So just slightly under from the last year's.
Not slightly. That's like,
500,000
Wow.
difference.
yeah.
Millions. Yes. Yes, it is.
And if you take that, the one number that we mentioned before, the one that's the 204,000
That's
difference,
half of it.
Mhm.
right? So I don't think we're making that number up anywhere in these other numbers.
don't either.
And our expenses went up. With the open enroll transfer out.
Yes,
Cause we had to pay more
That's
districts.
1 million.
his transfer outs are higher than transfer ins.
And so,
So
yep, you go ahead.
So with the higher transfer outs, we're paying almost $1 million to other schools.
That's what I was getting at with those numbers.
And what did we do? Was that in this budget?
Not that high. Was that?
What page would that be on? Well, I suppose this is the revenue side.
Yeah, they're gonna go.
So instructional service payments, if you look on the actual budget.
Mhm.
Is 1.208,841.
And some of these are estimate numbers too, like the impact aid. We have, it's 150, but we've gotten over 200,000 for the last 3 years, so that could help bump that revenue up.
But it's nothing we can count on.
No, we can't count on it.
What was the line item for the open enrollment?
If you look at, under non-program transactions. Or for it's on the second page. You went past
Keep
it.
going. Or page six.
Am I on
of
the
that
wrong?
7. I think there should be a couple more pages.
No, we're talking about.
This
I
one,
know.
this
I'm-
4-page.
Oh.
Oh, I guess, I don't know. I have it right here and I'm on a different.
If you look
Oh, one
on
of
the
four.
this actual.
Oh, you're on that.
Transfer, no, not as aid, where's the $2 million one?
Found it.
Oh,
Just gotta hold my hand a little bit, that's right.
Yeah,
Second page of it.
what's on the 6, 7, so go to the one that there's 7 pages, I think, and it's page. If I'm thinking what is right, it's this right here, 1.08.
You guys budgeted 1.2.
That's the actual number that we have gotten
On the second page of this one.
as of right now. That, so that number fluctuates.
Right.
Just like the revenue does.
So, I'm sorry, say it one more time.
That number fluctuates just like the revenue does, so. They're coming more, they're coming less.
Gotcha. And so you guys. Estimated 800. And 88,000 and some change, and that's roughly 1.2.
So the 880 is last year's dollar number.
Oh. Tracking now.
So we're 23 higher on that number from last
on
year
that
to
one?
this year in transfer outs.
Gotcha.
But then the dollar amount.
Instructional
That amount.
Yeah, they raised that amount, I think.
Do we pay out more than
Oh, I
we
do.
get paid for those who enroll in? Where does that additional money go that we pay out? Cause if a school gets,
This one.
if you guys get $10,000 a student who open enrolls into our school, hypothetical numbers. But we pay $12,000 a student that open enroll out, where does that extra 2,000 go that the school? That we're paying,
It goes to the other school.
the other schools charge more per pupil?
No.
It's just a state, it's in the
Yeah,
state
it's,
formula.
it's different every year. So like last year for 2024-25, transfer out students got basically, but there, it depends on when they start in the year, because it's
Mhm.
prorated if the. So basically, the flat amount was 8,962, but for sped, it was 13,814. Now, this year transfer out is basically 10,102. And sped is 14,454. That's transfer out.
And we get that same amount for those that transfer in, correct?
Transfer in, yeah,
That's what I was trying to make sure that we weren't paying
And I
more
wanted
for
to
a
make
student
sure.
to leave than we're getting for a student coming in.
and I think they're the same.
Same
The
amount.
same.
Okay, that makes sense.
What else do we need to know in here, Laura?
So so there's two different budgets going on right now. The one is the proposed budget that went to the paper.
Budget projection.
That you guys will have to approve that board meeting before the budget hearing. And then after I had sent it off to the newspaper, then I found out, Debbie and I actually found out that we don't have to make a March payment on that $2 million. So that came out, so then I redid the tax levy. And that's why the one budget shows we're only getting 4 million. And then the actual budget that you'll approve after the budget hearing, is at 4.3.
So the loan payment doesn't have to be made until 27.
Yep.
2027.
The first payment on the, gotcha. And that's a one-time a year payment?
Yep. In March.
Okay.
And
We made up $200,000 there. This year.
This year.
In the first year.
And then for 27, we actually I put the debt service payments in here. We have 2 loans that are falling off.
Mhm.
That will go back into the general fund.
What are those,
138.
what are those payments roughly?
So this year they are. There's one for 64,000 and one for 38.
So 90,000.
So 90,000 roughly.
Sounds like there's.
But the short-term borrowing is still a big question mark.
We're still
Just
also
short-term
waiting
That's
for an
an
interest
open line
rate.
of credit,
Mhm.
but
I don't think we have an interest rate.
No, and I haven't got the amortization schedule yet.
For the new loan.
My support services so much.
Page.
It's 7, yeah. So like last year, it's just support services first line. Last year was 30. It's almost not quite double, like 300,000 this year. It's almost 6.
This is unaudited and this is audited, so really.
Well, that's been 24
That's-
though.
yeah,
This
the
is
last year.
25.
You're right.
So why are we still short-term borrowing?
Okay, so
Did you guys move to C? Are you on C now, Tom?
Well, hold on the budget publication. Jamie and I were just looking the 7-page one on page 7. There's just a big one that was support services was 0 in 23-24. There's 300,000 for 24-25, and now it's 500,000 for
Almost
25.
570,000, almost.
which,
It's page 7
Budget
under
publications,
other
support services,
financing sources.
total revenue and other financing sources.
So those are dollars coming in.
We have it still, okay, well, that's long-term capital debt.
That's the new loan. Support services under revenues, other financing services, 0, 300, 500.
Funds
41,
41,
46,
46.
48, 49.
so that's because those are payments for, but that.
Those are payments, okay,
For like the playground.
Yep. okay.
So it's.
We didn't have any in 23, 24, and
It'd be
now.
nice to see what's already,
okay, I don't have the payment sheets, but
but that's already covered, you know what I mean? It'd be nice to have like a budget showing where we have, like, what we have the money for and what we need to find money for that.
Well, the part you're looking at there is the official one that they send in.
I don't know, it's just really confusing.
Okay, so go on with the short-term borrowing, what we need to know about that.
So, in talking with Debbie, she had me do a draw to pay off our short-term borrowing
A draw on the trust fund
on
loan.
the trust fund loan.
Yep.
We owe. Today, I think there's $85,000 left to the short-term borrowing. So,
that still has to be paid. Or
no, that's just sitting there.
that's available, okay.
So, with doing that, then she suggested that because her and I actually figured out the cash flow situation, because we always have
Mhm.
horrible cash flow when pretty much starts in November until
Yeah.
January. So she suggested that we still take out short-term borrowing for this year, but at a considerably lower amount. Both her and I were thinking 500,000. But with payroll and everything, she suggested 750 just to be on the safe side. And then when the payment is due in August, because she wants us to have our annual meeting in August, then we will actually pay it up when we get our tax revenue.
And so the money
If
to
we-
pay off this year's short-term borrowing would not come out of the trust fund loan. It would just come straight from taxes.
To pay off,
This year's short-term borrowing,
that's what the state trust fund loan is.
but the 500 or 750,000 will come out of the state trust fund payment or our tax payment?
Our
like
tax.
Our tax payment, so it's not,
Or
right,
aid money. What-
so we'd be paying it on our own, not utilizing the loan to pay it, okay. And then we would be caught up.
But we're still paying interest on it.
Which for the short-term borrowing, it's only 4%, which is less than.
And we only pay interest on what we've taken out, so even if we took out 750 and we didn't need to use it all, we wouldn't pay interest. We didn't pay that.
But we're still paying interest on that, plus we're making a loan payment. That's the
But-
part where I'm getting confused.
Interest wouldn't be as much because. So it's more like a line of credit at the bank where. Like if our account goes in the negative, then they
Right.
pull that dollar amount.
Why is
But
this,
we have the trust fund money
Yes.
to be our own bank, is what I'm
why
saying.
is that not enough to cover this year? The $2 million that we got?
Cause we could just pay ourselves back with that tax money instead of paying the bank back, plus the interest.
Well, the state trust fund loan is going to pay the short-term loan back that is due October 31st.
So we'll use all of it up, the $2 million will go in, pay off that loan, we'll be free of that.
Yep.
And we'll still have a cash flow problem for one more year, possibly.
Debating. I don't know how it goes. We get no money from the state this month at all.
Right.
And then next month, I think there's one payment. December is, there's one at the beginning of the month. And then impact aid. No idea when those payments are gonna start because that's federal, not shut down.
So with the short-term borrowing, the comment says considerably lower amount, what, than the 2 million? 'Cause I mean, 750,000 is a considerable amount to me.
But our previous short-term borrowing was 2 million.
So I guess with all this too, to say to me thinking forward. When we go to referendum, what are we, I mean, that's just, is Baird saying we're gonna need to go to referendum for $750,000?
We have a meeting with,
I mean, obviously this is all pre, like, we're not
Yeah,
there
the
yet.
homeless, attribute an amount,
But we'll need an operating referendum.
yes.
because ours actually got us.
Yes, we lose ours next year,
Which is
But ours.
400.
It was 400,000 and 8 million probably plans.
So if a referendum doesn't pass, we're screwed.
Well, that's when we would have to make some really hard choices about what would have to be cut. Right now, we're not cutting, we just didn't replace. We'd actually have to get to the point of cutting if an operating referendum did not go through.
Well, when I brought it up earlier, when we first started talking, when Baird was on the screen with us and stuff, Kevin had indicated bankruptcy. At one point, you actually used the term bankruptcy.
May have, yeah.
Is that if a referendum fails? Is
No, I
that where
don't-
we're sitting?
I can't say that at this point in time, because when we were working with Baird, they gave us kind of a time frame that we would have to pass a referendum. Don't know exactly what that, it was probably a 2-year window.
Yeah, I thought you had said there were 3 opportunities to pass it.
Yeah, I think,
Spring, fall and spring,
Yeah.
right?
Cause
Yeah.
we couldn't go to referendum this fall.
No,
It wasn't.
spring is the.
Spring is the next
Soonest.
possible, yep, the soonest that we could go.
It's basically why we need to get our ducks in a row and figure out how we want things to look like for the school from this point on. The coming up years, cause if we keep running it the way we've been running it, we're just gonna need more money. And we can't guarantee a referendum is always gonna pass to help with it, and so we might or should look at restructuring things to make things a little bit more leaner, so that way we don't take as hard of a hit if we have to, whether it be from lack of a referendum passing or whether it be from lack of federal funding, because that's also a real thing that we're looking at as well. You know, it's just, we have to think ahead that there's just going to be less money even if we do everything right. And that doesn't equate to going the way we've been going.
Right, and how many seniors are in this year's senior class? Rough estimate, 27, and we have 13 in 4K.
10.
Right, but with the kids that we had.
14. You have 4, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, 10.
And I mean,
So we're-
approving the short-term borrowing isn't the end of the world, as there are a number of schools that do utilize short-term borrowing.
Just about every.
So even districts running with good, positive fund balance are still approving a short-term borrowing of some amount because of that lack of cash flow during time. So I don't think the getting the short-term borrowing isn't a direct indication that we aren't doing things right. It's kind of part of the cost of our business. And we don't have to use it as things get better and better. It's just that backup during those times of lack of income.
I think gave an example of, so like how we get our paychecks, or if you get a paycheck every 2 weeks or whatever and you pay your bills.
Yeah.
This paycheck doesn't come
Right.
on a regular basis.
Right.
It's spread out between months.
Yeah, but I mean, and just looking at it, I go, short-term borrowing, that just means that we're not spending the money right. But I have to remind myself that there are a number of schools that are having to utilize it because of that cash flow problem. It's not the overexpenditure, it's the cash flowing problem. And this is considerably less than what we've taken out in the past as we're trying to remedy that.
Right,
But we may-
also just got 2 million.
Yeah, we may always have to have a short-term borrowing of some amount, or for the next however many years moving forward. That just may be part of our business plan.
I prefer not.
Well, I would too. I don't like loans of any kind.
It's just, to me, it's almost defeating the purpose, but that's.
It's almost too easy to have an open line of credit is what, I think you're saying the same thing as I kind of am, Tom. That, oh, well, we've got this money sitting here.
Cash flow, I mean, when you have unknown payments coming in or when they're coming in is hard though, cause like how can you can't budget for that. Especially when you're running on a minimal budget as it is, like I short-term borrow in my businesses to make payroll or pay expenses or whatever, because we don't complete a job in a time frame, I don't get paid. And so like, I think short-term borrowing is a necessary evil as far as the cash flow issue goes for the current climate that the school's in and that we're in statewide, nationwide.
I think it is too, but to what extent?
Well, last year when we had to approve the dollar amount for short-term borrowing, we raised it, right? And we raised it to
Raised it to
2 million.
Mhm.
So this is less than half.
But we just got a 2 million out of
If
them.
we, well.
I know what you're saying.
The $2 million loan consolidated
Yes.
all debt, right?
Yep.
For the most part. In you said August, we get payment,
Dollars.
tax dollar payment?
Yeah.
If we were to do the $750,000, excuse me, including the interest, our tax dollar payment would be able to clear that?
If nothing came up in the meantime.
yeah.
Well, if anything came up.
It's not a
Come up
guarantee.
big.
If anything came up in the
Yeah.
meantime, I have a feeling we'd be looking at the fund balance as, which is the thing we're trying to get away from doing.
But what are those big things that come up? I mean, if $50,000 come up, is that something that's gonna derail us from the process that we're on, or are we talking about something coming up at 100 or two
You're
hundred
talking about
thousand?
like a repair?
Yeah, like,
Well-
what's a dollar amount that's gonna derail us from moving forward? in how
Traditionally,
we're going.
traditionally, those would be the things that you would end up going to the fund balance for,
Yes.
to pay for in the interim. But that's also why we have the referendum money, which can go towards repairs of some types. So I mean, hopefully, if we're frugal, we won't have to use the fund balance for
Right,
anything
but that's what I'm
like
trying to
that.
figure out, like, how frugal do we have to be?
So,
Are we in tens of
What happened
thousands?
over the
of
years is
or
the
hundreds?
reason the fund balance got stockpiled was because no maintenance things were done.
Right,
I mean, we had to replace Univent.
oh, yeah,
Or, yeah, at $400,000 because they hadn't been
Yeah.
touched.
Yeah.
The roof, I mean, and we did go to referendum for
Yeah.
some things. But
And I
the
get that.
boards before, I think you
Yeah.
came in, we spent that fund balance to repair items in the building that we weren't repaired.
right.
Well-
It's easy to save money when you don't spend it on the
Yeah,
things, even
you
when they're
just
necessary.
patch
But
and-
how close do we have to be in staying online to what we're doing? Are we tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars would it take to steer us off the path of moving towards this positive cash flow?
We're talking about a repair in the amount of whatever.
Of whatever, if whatever comes up, a
The fire
lawsuit comes
system,
up,
the plumbing,
a repair to the building, the
Yeah.
need to hire a
process.
new teacher all of a sudden. Are those the types of things that are going to take us off this? What we're working towards?
I don't know the amount.
Yeah.
I mean,
would
anything.
say like hundreds of thousands.
Okay.
Okay.
And that, I mean, that feels better. That's like, we don't have to be like as lean as possible. There is a little bit more wiggle room if we have $200,000 that we can plus or minus compared to $10,000.
Dangerous.
It is dangerous.
We've also got to
We all-
understand, the state is not giving us more aid. Like, they're not increasing the aid. What they're doing is saying, we're not giving you the aid, so you need to go to your taxpayers to get it, and
Yeah.
that's pressure.
Mhm.
I mean, even without going to referendum, that's still pressure because typically the taxes offset the aid amount.
Mhm.
So even if it's not our fault, it's still gonna be imposed on the
Yes,
taxpayer
it will.
because the legislature is not raising aid.
Right. And I get, we don't wanna cut it close, but then we have to actually start talking about making cuts. If we don't want it to be this close, then we have to reduce.
There's nothing to reduce. We're already at a teacher shortage. I mean, unless we're gonna get rid of electives, we don't even have core class teachers right now.
That we
What do you
don't,
wanna
there aren't a
do?
lot of reductions to be made in the middle school and high school, but there could be reductions in other places.
Well, that's why I say we need to have these budget meetings in November and December to get figured out, because we need to know so we can figure out the number to go to referendum with.
Can we just go back to this revenue page we were looking at? Okay, sorry. I'm on page 4, where the ESSER funds from 23-24 were the $869,000. And that was what was going to be used for teacher salaries, the increases, but it was not because we couldn't use that. So 400,000 came out of the general fund, correct?
I think it was somewhere around 400,000.
And then we never got a clear picture of whatever happened to that other $400,000.
So we did use it for salaries? In the elementary.
In the highest paid elementary teacher for how many years?
Just
Just one. But that was intended for 3 years. When that went through, there was something about, this isn't gonna cause any problems for 3 years, and then we're in trouble.
Well, because-
But it wasn't.
Because we were anticipating the retirements and that would pay for it, but it didn't. Like the retirees that went out didn't make enough money for us to put the money back for the staff. Like they were saying, oh, hey, let's just, let's use this, ESSER money because once we retire, and they didn't have a number on, they were guessing. They said, once we retire, see, our money's gone. In the idea that they may not,
Who said?
with the team that negotiated with us.
Okay,
Like they said, hey, no problem, once we retire, you'll be getting that money back and you don't, it'll pay for itself. But it didn't, because A, we couldn't not replace all those people.
Right,
And B, we did reduce them in the sense that some were high-paid teachers on the schedule and we went to lower,
Yeah.
but it's still an amount. It's
Yeah.
it's not a free gone.
I understand that. I'm still questioning where that ESSER money went.
And there was, so
'Cause that-
then we paid for maintenance salaries as well. That because they were, part of that was maintenance stuff and.
Yeah, it was just criteria that we could spend it on. We spent it on what they told us we could spend it on. So I don't know offhand exactly. Salaries.
So
we
when
spent-
you're saying, okay, those events were $400,000 each, or whatever you just said.
Univent, yeah.
Okay. So, and you said that came out of the general fund.
I don't know if that was ESSER fund or it came out of fund balance.
Okay, I'm getting confused about how that.
I just don't have it in front of me and we can go
Okay,
back and look.
okay, the next one is the Aidable refund of disbursements. In 23-24, it was 29,355. In this year's budget, it's 10,000. What are Aidable?
So that's
Disbursement.
like, that would be like our workman's comp,
Oh, and those were really high in the past because we were putting in a bunch of claims that didn't ultimately get paid out, and
but
now
this
we've
is like a
reduced.
refund that we get where we paid too much to workman's comp, and then
Okay.
when they do our audit,
Okay.
then they send us a check
Okay,
for the difference.
so we're not getting as much. The differences, okay.
No.
And what
Because we're
about
better at that.
school-based services? Where is that money showing up as revenue in our budget?
So it shows up in Fund 27 and Fund 10, it gets quoted both ways.
Okay, and where does that money come from? Insurance companies,
State of
the
Wisconsin,
state of
because
Wisconsin?
it's Medicaid.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So when people sign those statements about your insurance paying for it, is that the SBS stuff or what is that?
The SBS stuff is for those students that qualify for state insurance or Medicaid through special
Okay,
education
but we're not like
services.
billing insurance companies, like
No.
people say, insurance paid for this.
No,
That's not
we're
true.
not.
It's the Medicaid stuff.
It's the Medicaid
Okay,
stuff. So we
okay,
get reimbursed
so-
for the OT, the PT and the speech and language services as long as those students qualify.
Yes,
Okay.
but not by
Yeah.
your individual or insurance companies, like people. Correct.
And that rate doesn't.
It's not.
It's not very high.
Okay, that's all I'm gonna ask. Thank you.
So do we need a motion to move the short-term borrowing? Or are we just gonna say we're moving it to the full meeting to take a vote on? We don't need a motion to do that, but that's where,
Well, technically, we already allowed so much short-term borrowing last year.
right, we increased it, so we could just go off of last year's and this is less than that anyway, and it's
Right.
fine.
But you'll still have to make a motion to approve community bank as a
From
short-term
borrow,
borrower and then.
okay, just as a every year, just do that, gotcha.
So we'll do that the monthly. All right. Anything else for Laura? Laura, anything else for us? At this point. Okay. At this time, I'm looking for a motion to convene in a closed session under Wisconsin State Statute 19.851 CEFG to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility, consideration of the financial, medical, social, or personal information, and to confer with legal counsel who is rendering oral or advice.
I'll make that motion.
Of a motion by